Congratulations, you finally made it to 4 p.m. You know what that means. Happy hour. It's time to kick back, relax, and dive into the world of sports with the Young and Norvelle Show. Whether you're catching up on the latest scores, analyzing the big plays, or gearing up for tonight's games, we've got you covered. So grab a cold one, settle in, and let's talk sports. Here they are, Patrick Young and Terry Norvelle.
On a Sliders Oyster Bar Thursday, welcome to our show today. Terry Norvelle bringing it to you from the patio at Sliders, of course. This is our Thursday home. We've been doing it a long time. How about this? It's cold outside. It's going to be cold. We're in the middle of winter time, even in Florida, particularly North Florida. How about this? Let me see if I can tease you a little bit before we get into the show and kind of set up where we're going today with the program. How about a big old bowl of warm, steaming gumbo? Does that sound good? How about a big old piece of fish right off the grill, warm off the grill, cooked to your specifications? Does that sound any good? How about a bunch of steamed oysters on a cold day and a cold night coming? Boy, they can take good care of you right here at Sliders Oyster Bar, featuring Safe Harbor Seafood, the best seafood, the freshest seafood you will find anywhere. They got a menu that is second to none. If it's seafood and you like it, they will prepare it for you right here to your specifications. They do it right here at Sliders. Been doing it a long, long time. A staple down here in the Neptune Beach area. All right, Patrick Young should join us here in about 10 minutes or so. We'll catch up with Pat as he has made his way back from Charlotte. He had double duty a couple nights in a row at the SEC Network. A lot to get into, a number of different topics. Of course, the big game tonight, Notre Dame, Penn State. I cannot wait for that ball game. Should be just a sledgehammer of a matchup. Two teams that are pretty similar, really tough on defense, big-time running attacks, quarterbacks that can be a little squirrely when they drop back. We'll get into that game. That'll be our major topic today. News breaking sort of out of the Georgia football camp. I say sort of because it involves Carson Beck, who really is not part of the Georgia football program anymore. News has broke today, a couple of hours ago, that Carson Beck now has changed his mind. You know, the former Georgia starting quarterback this year, he had come out and said he is going to go ahead and declare for the NFL draft. That was, 4 or 5 days ago. News has now broke that the Carson Beck camp has changed their mind. Carson and his people probably got some reports, and now Carson Beck is going to throw his name back into the college football portal. The portal, you may say, wait a minute, the portal was closed on December 28th. Well, remember, Beck's team, Georgia, made the college football playoff. Those teams all get to extend, and I want to say it's 7 days from the end of each one of their seasons. If you made the college football playoff, you cannot be punished because you're busy preparing for a game and not really thinking about portal. Do you want to put your name in, doing your research? So as I understand it, he's still within his number of days. Remember, Georgia, they were scheduled to play on the 1st, but the game got moved to the 2nd. So January 2nd plus 7 days is the 9th. So today's probably the last day he could have done this. But Carson Beck in the portal now. The hot, heavy rumor is there's a good chance he may end up at Miami. The Hurricanes will need a quarterback. A couple other things factor in. It appears that Carson Beck is still dating a girl that is at Miami. That's always a draw. And if he still has a Lamborghini, I don't know how that deal has worked out. His Lamborghini would blend in pretty well in South Beach, just be another car. How about that? How about that? You roll into town, big man on campus, you think you're rolling into town with the car. No, Carson, that Lambo, if you still have it, it's nice, but it'll blend in down in South Beach. So some college football news. I want to get into, and this is a little bit, it kind of relates to the Jaguars, I think, to a pretty good degree. WWTTD. Okay? What will the Titans do? The Tennessee Titans, of course, a division rival of the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Titans have the first pick in the NFL draft. And I ran across a really interesting article in the Tennessean, one of the local Tennessee papers that, of course, covers the Tennessee Titans. There's an interesting article. One of the writers up there with the Tennessean, he is outlining steps to improve the Titans, and I want to go over that. Boy, they've got options. When you have that first pick of the first round, you have options, and this seems to be a great year to have the number one of the one. If you got to have it, you may as well have it in a year where quite a few of the top 10 organizations are quarterback needy. And, I preached all year as this season started unfolding, particularly halfway through the season. I was one of the first guys going, man, oh, man, oh, man. One of the things that could really help the Jaguars, they're having a terrible season, get the first pick. Get the first pick and turn it into multiple players. That can turn you around quicker. Didn't happen. Jaguars won 2 games late. I still I will stay on my side of this fence that those 2 wins did not do anything. That hurt your franchise. Jaguars now will choose 5th. But Tennessee, man, they have a lot of options. I want to get into that a little bit as we go. A lot of teams right behind them want and are going to draft a quarterback. And if you're at 1, there's a chance, there's a scenario that the Titans could trade down to swap out 1 for 3. And who is that? I think it's New England. I don't have the draft in front of me. Or actually, I can find that real quick. 3. The Giants. How about the Titans work a deal with the Giants? They swap 1 and 3. The Giants will get whoever they want at quarterback with the 1 pick. Obviously, that's why they would do it. Then the Titans, you would get the 3rd pick. You could still go get probably not the 2 quarterbacks. One of the 2 quarterbacks, the highest rated quarterbacks, Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders. There's a chance one of those is still there at 3. But even if they go 1-2, Sanders and Ward in some order, gosh, the Titans could go get Travis Hunter at 3. And then that's not all you do. You get stuff. You don't just swap picks. You get stuff if you're sitting there 1 of 1. You would probably say, I want next year's first and I want a player. I'm telling you, man, that 1 of 1, what a shame. The Jaguars couldn't get it. I mean, they've got it a couple times recently, but, man, they could have used that. We'll dive into that. There's some other things to consider. Also, that article from the Tennessean, it also mentions if the Titans don't get their quarterback, and do they live 1 more year with Levis? Do they mess around with a free agent quarterback? And some of the names that might be available through free agency in this article pointed out Stafford, Darnold, Carr, Cousins, Rodgers. Man, but here's another little thing to play into. What if you swap and get a 1 for next year? Maybe that 1 next year is Arch Manning. I don't know if Arch will go 1 of 1. Maybe he will. Maybe he goes high. Anyway, there's a lot that the Titans can do. And how does that affect the Jaguars? Well, the Titans are as bad as Jacksonville. The Jags got 2 wins over these guys, but you never want division rivals improving their team. We'll kick that around. We'll get your thoughts. We'll get Patrick's thoughts, maybe even Zach Rothrock as well. Other things I want to get to today on the program, boy, there is a reputable interview that happened. ABC News, I think, interviewed, and this was picked up by USA Today, and Deion Sanders. I think you saw this. Deion was interviewed by ABC News, I think it was. Very reputable, obviously, organization. And in the interview, Deion at one point is asked about, hey, man, you said you're coming back to college, and what are your thoughts on the NFL? And he said and this is Deion talking. This is Deion talking. He basically, and I'll paraphrase the very end of this thing, Deion said in no uncertain terms, well, the one thing that could change and send me to the NFL is possibly coaching my sons. And there's an S on that. Sons, not son, his sons. But that door's open. And I've always thought that door's open with regard to Deion. I don't think he's a long-timer at all at Colorado. We'll see. But it was very interesting. I'll try to get to that quote and give you the exact quote from Deion. And he didn't mince words. He didn't mince words at all. Interesting stuff. We want to get into kind of some fun sports today as well as we set the show. Tiger Woods and Puma and Tiger Woods going at it. We'll get to that a little bit later. They're doing a cool thing at the Indianapolis Speedway. with all this bad weather. They're trying to make the best of it. We'll talk about that. And man, be careful on golf carts. I'll try to get to a cut later in the show. And I know all the rage now. The last 10 years, golf carts are the rage. Everybody who's anybody feels like they have to have a golf cart. Well, I know you might not take driving a golf cart as serious as a car. And if you're on the road with a car, please be serious and be careful. But I think just the fact that when not just kids, but when adults get behind the wheel of a golf cart too, I think they think, it's just a golf cart. I can drive with one hand and maybe, a little, beveraged up and things. We've got a clip we may get to, and we'll tie it into sports because it does involve a golf cart. It has gone viral, and it is absolutely hilarious. Want to get into the game, though, tonight a little bit as we kick off the first segment. Really good matchup. I think these two teams are very, very similar. They both want to run the ball. At times, they both have punishing rushing attacks, both Penn State and Notre Dame. Both quarterbacks can make an NFL throw and then scratch your head throw. Drew Aller, I've never seen him really get dialed in. This guy, you really don't know what you're getting with Drew Aller. A little bit can be said, out here in the cold here. You can say that a little bit with regard to Riley Leonard. Leonard, much more of a running threat than Aller is, but Leonard's not a big-armed, great passer. Aller could be, and I think he's got a huge arm, but I'm not real confident when he throws the ball. If he missed a lot of guys the other night against Boise State. He had that one speedster wide receiver. He missed him a lot. Can't miss those throws tonight. Both teams want to run it. Both teams have really, really stingy defenses. Should be a low-scoring game. This screams 21-17-ish somewhere in that area. The word is the great Penn State defender, and I use that word on purpose. I don't use it all the time. Abdul Carter is a great rush end superstar in the making when he heads to the NFL. Word is he's healthy. He's going to play. I think he had an arm situation. He missed almost all of the Penn State-Boise State game the other day, but he is a big-time difference maker. And Notre Dame, they go out and beat Georgia with special teams play. Will field position play into it? Because I think yards are going to be hard to come by tonight. We may be wrong, and sports proves us wrong a lot, but I don't see one team just blowing the other team off the ball. If that happens, that team, if it's only one that blows the other off the ball, then that team's going to win. But really good matchup, and all in all, you can't really argue with the Final Four in terms of the brands. These are all massive brands. We were talking on this show yesterday, save for, gosh darn, Oklahoma, Alabama, and did we throw one more? USC. Probably Oklahoma, Alabama, USC, and these four, those are your deep blue bloods. These are big boys. Multiple national titles. Ohio State probably not quite in there. The Florida State, and the Miamis, two Johnny-come-lately. These programs are playing tonight and tomorrow, deep blue bloods with a bunch of national titles. I also thought it was interesting, Notre Dame and Penn State, they historically haven't played a lot. They've been playing college football, those two programs, a long time. They have played, this will be the 20th all-time meeting. And did you see the record? 9 wins, 9 losses, and 1 tie. How good is that? Wanted to get into something else off the field with regard to Penn State and Notre Dame. James Franklin at his press conference, got a couple thoughts on his most recent press conference before the game. Franklin came out and he had some derogatory comments about Notre Dame being an independent, not being in a conference, not playing what he says is a big-time group of 5 power conference, tough schedule. He went pretty deep into this, and my issue is not necessarily with what James Franklin said, but if I was talking to James Franklin about his comments right there, I would ask him, okay, James, you've thrown out your concerns and what you don't like about Notre Dame being an independent and still being able to qualify for the college football playoff. Who do you blame? Where do you place blame? Where do you place blame? And I would be curious to hear what Franklin says, because if you really think about it, James Franklin, your program, your conference, the rest of Division I college football not named Notre Dame, that's who you should blame, not Notre Dame. What has Notre Dame done wrong? Nothing. If college football is going to allow Notre Dame to do what they've asked to do, we want to stay independent, but we still want to have a path to the college football playoff. Well, can you blame Notre Dame? Notre Dame's done nothing wrong in this equation. Not one thing wrong. Blame college football. Hey, college football, the Big Ten, the SEC, the Power Five, the Power Four conferences, all they have to do is say, hey, guys, don't schedule Notre Dame. Don't schedule them in any games. None. ACC, say no. We've changed our bylaws. The SEC could say, hey, we have decided that we don't want to be in a scheduling partnership with you, Notre Dame, for 5 games. We only want to play conference games against full-fledged conference members. You could squeeze Notre Dame out of this in a heartbeat. So don't blame Notre Dame. Blaming Notre Dame is like saying, well, hell, are you telling me I can walk in that bank and just take money out and with no repercussions? Well, okay, I'm going to do that. Well, are you going to blame me for that or the system that allows me to do it? I know that's a hypothetical crazy, but I hear people rip into Notre Dame. They should get in the conference. It's not fair. Well, who are you mad at? You should not have 1 ounce of anger toward Notre Dame. They're doing what they're allowed to do. They're being allowed to do it. If it's that big of a deal, James Franklin and your Penn State program and Penn State and your Big Ten conference and Big Ten and your other Power 4 brethren, if it's that big of a deal, you could squeeze Notre Dame out of that. This isn't some federal law of the land that Notre Dame and the rest of college football has to acquiesce to Notre Dame. No, not at all. When this topic comes up, I always ask that same question. I fire it right back. When I'm talking to somebody on shows, being a guest, whatever, and this topic comes up, well, what about Notre Dame? They get kind of a special treatment. Should they be forced to be in a conference? Well, I would like them to be in the standard conference. I do think they have a huge advantage. This year, they had a terrible schedule, but I don't blame Notre Dame. I don't blame Notre Dame 1 iota. Not at all. I blame college football. The entities that are college football, Division I, Power 5 college football. You're at fault. I know we're right at a break. Zach Rothrock, we've talked about this. If you're able to jump on real quick, and I hope you heard my dissertation there on Notre Dame. I'm curious to get your thoughts. We'll see if we can bump it around with Patrick in a little bit. But Zach, you've heard my dissertation before.
I have.
In that scenario, and Franklin, let me back up one other thing. If I was Penn State fan yesterday when Franklin was making these comments, I don't want him thinking about that. I want him talking about the game. Hey, Franklin, don't worry about the conference affiliation. I want you worrying about the game that kicks off tonight. But what are your thoughts on what I just said about Notre Dame?
I mean, yeah, you ideally do want to focus on the task at hand. I mean, did you see the way the Notre Dame coach was staring him down at the press conference, like across the table?
Yes.
Almost like an intimidation factor type thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want you looking at. I don't want you thinking. I want you to think about Notre Dame, and that's all. I don't want you to think about where you stand in relation to Ohio State and Michigan and all this and that, because none of that really matters until you potentially go up against Ohio State in the national championship. But even then, just worry about that when it gets there.
Absolutely. But what are your thoughts on if you agree with James Franklin? If Franklin was sitting here, though, I would go, Coach, who do you blame for Notre Dame not having to be in a conference? I don't blame Notre Dame one bit. I blame Franklin, Penn State, college football. They could squeeze Notre Dame, but they choose not to. They allow Notre Dame to do that.
Yeah, it'd be the NCAA, the executives, not because I mean, why would you not? If you can do it and can get away with it, and you are Notre Dame, then why would you not continue to take advantage of that?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, why not? Especially when even in today's day and age with the playoffs, you get rewarded by completing your schedule, and not even flawlessly. Like they had losses on the record. I lost to Northern Illinois on the record, and they still were able to make the playoffs. So yeah, why would you have any incentive to not do it? No, I wouldn't blame them at all, man.
I've never placed the blame. I want Notre Dame in a conference. I want it to be fair. I don't blame Notre Dame. They're getting away with what the system is allowing. The rest of college football is allowing it. Don't bitch about it and college football could change it. They could squeeze. Did you hear my dissertation? Notre Dame, if the Power 5 wanted to, if the Power 4, I'm sorry, if the Power 4 really wanted to stop this, they get together and say, hey, don't schedule Notre Dame. Who are they going to play then? Who are they going to play?
Yeah, you kind of squeeze them out in that way. Yeah, I do feel like it could eventually get to the point where there are basically 4 mega conferences with 16 teams in it, and it feels as if Notre Dame would, at that point, that would be when they would have to pick a side and get one. But until we get to that point, I just don't see them doing it.
And if that comes to pass, and it will, some form of that will, if it comes to pass, if I'm Notre Dame, until I'm forced, I would say, hey, we just want to do the same thing we do. we want to be team 17 in that 16-team conference, and we want to be able to qualify.
Yeah, I mean, why not? Why not? You can just continue to thumb your nose at everybody, and you never have to play on conference championship weekend.
Yeah, never. College football can control that if they really, really wanted it. And James Franklin, I want you thinking about the game, not Notre Dame's conference affiliation, 48 hours before kickoff. All right, Zach, let's take our first break here. We got a lot to get to. I want to also talk a little bit about the portal, which never goes away, and Gator Nation, Gator football fan nation. I want you to put a little, get your pill that says truth serum. Take a little truth serum pill or liquid, whatever it is. And I want you to think this through when I come back. If you hate the portal, if you're a Gator fan and you don't like the portal, and there are a billion of them out there, I want to talk to you on the other side. One down, a long way to go. It is a Thursday here at Sliders Oyster Bar. We'll come back. Bunch of topics. We'll come back after this quick timeout.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jax 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice 3-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming, from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jax app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jax 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jax Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
They are serving, it's cold, but they are serving up the seafood right here at Sliders Oyster Bar. A lot going on. Great menu, full service menu. And yes, there are items they've got on their vast menu here at Sliders. There's some non-seafood. We understand. Hey, you may come out with a party and, a bunch of you are ready to go chow down on some wonderful safe harbor seafood here at Sliders. But some people in your party, they may want to go a different route. So they're not 1,000% seafood here. They can take care of your entire party here at Sliders. Indoor, outdoor, entertainment all the time. Just a fun place. One of the standard bearers when it comes to down here at the Fun Corner Beach area, this Neptune Atlantic Beach area. Sliders Oyster Bar. We are in Neptune Beach, and if you know, you know. If you don't, you got to get down here. You'll thank me later. Sliders Oyster Bar, featuring safe harbor seafood. Patrick Young will be joining us soon. As we'll talk a little basketball with Patrick. Where I was going with the portal earlier, and Zach, I don't know if you can jump on or if you're doing some duties here, but the portal, when it works for you, you notice the fans, they love it. When it works against you, they hate it. I'll guarantee you, if the fans I was talking to earlier, I said, you Gator football fans, take some truth serum and think about your thoughts on the portal. Do you like the portal? Do you not like the portal? A lot of fans, Gator fans, are like a lot of college football fans and college fans in general. They don't like the portal. They don't like anything about it. They hate it. When they're talking about football, don't forget the portal's out there for all sports. Look at Gator basketball. If you don't like the portal and you're a Gator fan, well, do you realize this really good basketball team that Todd Golden's put together is heavy, heavy, heavy portal? I mean, think about the players. Walter Clayton. He didn't have to sit out. He came straight to Florida last year and played. Elijah Martin. Portal from FAU, right? Going on. The big man, Chin Lulu, whatever his name is, big man, Big Ruben. Sam Alexis. We could go on and on and on. They do have some homegrown, if you will, some signees, Condon and Houck and guys like that. But, the Gator basketball team is portal heavy. Really, really portal heavy. Will Richard. Transferred in, played immediately. That Gator basketball team, as good as they are, they're heavy portal, and that's the lay of the land. That is the lay of the land. Speaking of the portal, one of the big stories today, if you haven't heard, Carson Beck has changed his mind. He had originally announced several days ago that he was leaving Georgia and going to test the NFL draft. That has changed. Carson Beck's people, it has been announced Carson Beck has decided that he will actually throw his name into the transfer portal. And he's looking to play another year, his 6th and final year of eligibility. Obviously, he's got the COVID year and things like that stretched everything. But Beck is looking to play one more year of college football. What does that say? Probably that even though it's too early to turn in your paperwork to get your grade from the NFL, you can still, I think, through back channels, you can find out if you dig enough, you can find out where you think the NFL views you. And I would imagine that's exactly what Carson Beck and his people did. They went back channels and they heard maybe a lot of what Todd McShay. Remember, Todd McShay the other day came out and said he was talking to some NFL people anonymously, that and Beck's name came up after he had declared that he was going to try the NFL draft. Todd McShay came out and said that one scout that he talked to for sure said that would be I think it was a horrible decision, an absolutely horrible decision. So Beck and his people obviously have gotten some homework done, and the grade came back and said, hey man, you need to turn in some more tape, some good high-level college football tape would help you. And I would imagine part of that evaluation that they got back channels said, man, you would he not get drafted? I don't know, but is it worth it to get drafted in the 5th or 6th round versus, hey, go try and play one more year of college football and see if you can play yourself into a 2nd-round pick? Because if, let's say, Beck went to the draft this year and went in the 5th or 6th round, well, why not try one more year of college? You've got the eligibility. And even if you don't turn in great tape and don't shoot back up the draft board, you can still go 5th or 6th, right? I mean, it's not like an either or. I think if Beck would get drafted 5th or 6th round this year, at the end of this year, going into this coming draft, I think that would be there still on the table if he played one more year and he doesn't light it up. So not too risky. I don't think too risky. And he's got a little cash in his pocket. I don't know his deal with his Lamborghini, but I don't know. Was that when you leave Georgia, you turn it in? Was it yours? Did he buy it with his cash? We don't know. Getting back to the Titans, I'm intrigued with the Titans now, mainly because it's a division team, a division rival. The article I referenced from the Tennessean, Nick Suss is the sports writer, and he wrote an article in the Tennessean regarding the Titans in their first draft pick and what moves the Titans can make now sitting in the first spot of the draft to improve their team. It's interesting. He listed like 7. I won't go through all 7, but and in order, what he would do basically, number 1, trade back. Number 1 is trade back, which I was preaching and preaching and preaching when the Jaguars were 1 and whatever and 2 and whatever, getting late in the season. Don't win any more games. It won't help your franchise, Jacksonville. You want the 1 of 1. Trade back is the first thing that this article says the Titans should do. And he goes on to say, the author of this article, that in the draft order right now, the top 10, it's pretty understood that 6 franchises are really looking hard at quarterback. And certainly we know a couple of the high draft choices are in the market for a quarterback. The Raiders pick 4th. Obviously, the Titans have 1. The Raiders 4 and the Giants 3, those are your 2. Those are who you play against each other. You go and play against these guys, and you try and work a deal and swap picks. You'll get either the 4th or the 3rd. get a future first rounder, and I think you can command this. I mean, when you sit in that 1 of 1, you get a lot. You get a lot of stuff. That's where I would go if I was the Titans and or if I was the Jaguars. It also mentions if you swap picks and get an extra first round pick next year, if you don't go drafting a quarterback this year, the Titans, they probably need a quarterback. But if they go one more year, that extra first round pick could turn into a guy named Arch Manning next year. It could be Arch Manning. It also points out there are going to be several, very experienced quarterbacks that are becoming free agents. If you're done with Levis, and they probably are, and you don't use one to draft a quarterback and try and groom, you say, let's see what we can get and see if we can figure out the quarterback position. The Titans do have $52 million of cap space. They've got it's $12 million more than the Jaguars, basically. They got $52 million of cap space. And do you put together a package? And some of the very, very experienced quarterbacks in the league that are probably going to pop up, good chance they're going to pop up as free agents that possibly the Titans could go get. Matt Stafford, Sam Darnold, Derek Carr, Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers. I know some of those are, but you might be looking for just a 1-year gap, just a 1-year stopgap you might be looking for. So really intriguing. That's going to be one of the big stories. And I'm telling you, during the offseason, when we talk draft and when the draft is talked by everybody, obviously the team that picks 1 of 1, they get a lot of the media. And that's going to happen all offseason. The Jaguars are tied to that, I think. I think the AFC South is tied to that. I mean, the last thing you want is one of your division rivals having bullets in the gun, ammunition to get better. And as bad as the Titans are, getting that first pick can speed if you handle it right. And there's some gambling. I think you got to roll the dice a little bit, particularly if they go free agent route with quarterback. Maybe they give Levis 1 more year. Maybe he turns into a serviceable quarterback. You never know. You got to get lucky sometime. But that first pick in the first round, that'll be an enormous story all off season, and it'll affect the Jaguars. It really, really will. You would certainly, if you're Jacksonville, hell, if you're the Colts, and if you're the Texans, the last thing you wanted, if somebody's got to get the 1 pick, you would prefer it not be a team in your division. You would prefer it not be a team in your division. You would rather the Browns have gone from 2 to 1 as the season finished. You would rather the Patriots have slid up there. You don't want your own division rival getting that pick, but unfortunately for the Jags, that's what happens. Now, if they screw it up, the Titans, okay, you're fine. But they could hit a home run. This could plug in 3 good players. You could plug in definitely 2 this year and maybe even a draft choice for next year, but some type of combination. It's not out of the realm of possibility that you could plug in 3 good players. You add 3 good players to the worst 10 teams in the NFL, and they're going to be a lot better. A lot better. We'll see how it plays out. It's going to be a fun story. SEC fan, traditional SEC fan, as we go to break. I want to talk to you when we come back, but I'll tease it a little bit. Traditional SEC fan, and I'm one of those. We, it's going to take a little time to accept Texas and Oklahoma. It's just the way it is. It took a little time for Arkansas and South Carolina. It took a little time for Missouri and Texas A&M. It's going to take a little time particularly for traditional SEC fan, to accept Texas and Oklahoma. But SEC fan, you've got kind of a double-edged argument, and I'm going to on the other side kind of spell that out. I think SEC fan, if the Final Four plays out the way it could play out involving Texas, I'm going to give you traditional SEC fan ammunition for when you talk smack, which we do, with other fans of other conferences. That and a whole lot more. Let's take a break here. Cruising through a crisp Thursday here on the patio. Got a party or two that is sat down. Heaters everywhere. They've dropped down the portable see-through vinyl walls, so it feels comfortable here. Or you can dine inside, of course, at the bar, at the tables, or at the Oyster Bar right here at Sliders Oyster Bar. Terry Norvelle coming back. We'll catch up with Patrick Young in a few moments. A lot of topics to get to as we're having a fun Thursday heading into the first of the two college football semifinal games tonight. Don't forget, we got the ball on Notre Dame taking on Penn State. We'll talk about that as we go.
For those dealing with pain from a sports injury, arthritis, or spine condition, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists offers innovative new non-surgical options. Our regenerative medicine treatments, including platelet-rich plasma and other regenerative treatments, use your body's own restorative cells to aid in treating injuries. These procedures are performed in our offices and typically require minimal downtime. If you want to get back to doing what you love, our regenerative treatment options may be right for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's a new logo, new branding. With Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. It's hot, Florida in the summer. You can't do much to avoid it, but you can keep cool with Bold City Heating and Air. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who is coming to your house. You know they will be well trained, and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. Stay cool while it gets hot. Bold City Heating and Air can help. Don't get caught sweating all summer. boldcityac.com, and they have financing to help. New systems starting at $110 a month and $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown.
Okay, it appears that the Cotton Bowl will go off tomorrow as scheduled. The Dallas area or the area in Texas actually, they're expecting a lot of snow for their area. Certainly Texas gets snow but 3 to 6 inches they're expecting. It's been very cold, certainly, and there was concerns about that area. Yes, they get snow, but they don't get that much snow at one time. But it looks like all activities, including game day and things like that, are scheduled and going to go off. There's a little concern about emergency personnel and things like that. If a bunch of cities in the area, were to shut down because of the snow, that's the good news dealing with weather around the football game coming up this extended weekend. I'll say Thursday through Monday. The weather issue that is not so good and is much more serious is still going on out in Los Angeles. Boy, those wildfires. And I mean, there has been loss of life. There's been massive billion-dollar property destruction, loss of human life. I'm sure loss of a lot of animal lives. Just a terrible, terrible situation. And this is just me talking. Obviously, we still have several days. The playoff game scheduled in Los Angeles is Monday. It's Monday night, so that gives officials a couple more days. But I, for the life of me, really can't see how. If miraculously, and I'm just being silly here, but making a point, if you could snap your fingers right now and every fire went out in Los Angeles, that destruction, that death, that just tragic situation out there. I just don't see how you could play a football game there in that area, and the number of law enforcement personnel that you need to put on a massive sporting event and to do it safely. With regard to, you only have so much and so much manpower. I can't see how that game will be played in Los Angeles. They're talking about Phoenix, I think. My first thought was, would they just switch it to Minnesota? Probably not a fair thing to do from a competitive standpoint. I mean, all of a sudden, then Minnesota would have a sold-out stadium, and they're supposed to be the road team, so that really wouldn't be fair. Phoenix probably is the best answer. Obviously, a dome stadium, not far away, or not that far away anyway. But I just can't see that game being played. Zach, your thoughts on that? And I don't know if there's anything new from. I haven't been able to track the Los Angeles stuff today, this afternoon. But gosh, I know you've seen the footage.
Oh God, yeah, the footage is crazy. It looks like I don't even know, the end of the world or something like that.
That's a good description. That is really a sad but good description. I mean, I know wildfires are wildfires. Wouldn't you say that's California's hurricane? Right. I mean,
that's like that is literally what my wife and I were saying. Is their version of the hurricane or the tornado. That's what California. I guess they also get earthquakes too. But yeah,
in the earthquake, they're much less. They don't happen as anywhere near. But man, it seems like these wildfires are an annual occurrence. I don't remember them, and I'm not a California native. But Zach, I don't remember them in the winter. And I know you don't get a terrible winter. I don't remember them in the winter all the time. I seem to remember the California fires more spring, summer.
Yeah, it feels like it's usually in the summer when it's dry. Like they haven't had rain in like several weeks as usually. And maybe they've had a really dry winter over there. I haven't really gotten to the specifics of it. But yeah, it seems like it's a really incredibly out of the blue time. Like I didn't wake up the other day and expect to see wildfire in LA.
In this time of year, your description is interesting though. Some of those shots, I mean, those are inferno, all-encompassing fires that with that wind, they can move so quick. You can be engulfed, I think. And I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to burn. I mean,
there's the one video. I think it's a relatively popular video that's been going around of the lady in her apartment with her dog, and she's just like covered in flames with the through the glass walls. You can see. Yeah, I literally do not know what I would do in that situation.
It's so terrible to think, and we have to spin it back. As a sports show, we have to spin it back to sports, but
right.
And Zach, I have no inside scoop or anybody that I know that's in the fire department or Los Angeles, city council. But from what I see, like you see on television, if you snap your fingers right now and every fire went out, I still can't see them playing a football game anywhere in that area. Monday night.
There'd be too much to clean up outside of that. Yeah, for sure. I think it's going to be a several week process, most likely.
Yeah, I would imagine here within the next day or two, the NFL is just about has to announce that they're going to move that game to Phoenix.
Yeah, I think Phoenix is the location I'm hearing the most or reading the most. I initially kind of thought they might do Vegas, but yeah, Phoenix I think will be the place. And I think that they'll have to. There's no way.
Almost have to. The from a sports standpoint, with regard to what's going on in Los Angeles, which is not important. The sports angle is not important. But if one thing went their way, the NFL's way, it's the Monday game, not the Saturday game, right? Just gives you a few more days. And I think, and the NFL's the NFL. If they make the announcement Friday, if they make the announcement today or tomorrow, they've already started behind the scenes, right? They've already started.
Yeah, they've already started shuffling. And last year it wouldn't be the first time they had to move. Last year they actually had to move.
Remember that?
The Steelers played in Buffalo, and it was a big like a blizzard. Like they had to get the fans to shovel the snow out, and they moved it from Sunday to Monday afternoon. So I mean, it wouldn't be the first time. So they definitely have a procedure and a protocol to follow with this.
Even though some of the northern franchises in the NFL, I think Kansas City loves when they're at home and it's 7 degrees and it's a playoff game. Zach, I could see, and it may be, I may not be around, but the NFL has gotten so monstrously big.
Yeah.
And there's so much money involved. I'm not so sure there's not going to be a time in the near future. I don't know what the time frame is, but in the near future that the NFL may mandate the northern franchises have to have domes.
Yeah, I can see them. You're not the first person.
There's just too much money.
Yeah. It could potentially at least make it mandatory to have a retractable roof type of thing where you could avoid the weather situation. I don't really think that would necessarily help with this LA thing. That's kind of one of those out of the ordinary type deals.
Absolutely.
But for Buffalo, because I mean, the last thing that you would want, I would imagine, if you're the Buffalo Bills, the last thing that you want is to play a full season. Like, let's say they went 16-1 and had the number 1 seed, so they got to play their games at home. The last thing you would want is to play a full season and then have the whole game get like your season comes down to one of those 5-3 games in a blizzard where the offense can never get going, and both teams have to play a game plan that's just completely out of their normal. Yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah, and I don't think what I just proposed is 5 years away, maybe not even, but 15 to 20 years from now, I don't think we're going to have the NFL is just too enormously big and there's too much financial stake on these games to have 8 inches of snow affect the game when we live in a time where we can change that. It's not like we can't, 100 years ago, you couldn't build a dome with a retractor. Well, we can do it now. Yeah, we can do it now, and the money is just too enormous, I think. I just think it's way too enormous. I mean, it's
one of the biggest industries in the entire world is the NFL football.
Really is.
And I know that as gambling gets to be a bigger part of the sport and part of the scene, like I know that even just thinking about fantasy football perspective, a thing that people don't like about these weather games is you can have the number one, like you can have Lamar Jackson all year and he's the best quarterback all year, and then he goes in your championship round, which is typically in December in the snow, and he has to go play a game in Buffalo and it's in a blizzard and he can't get it off.
Yeah,
and he ends up having the worst game he's had all year when the person needs him the most. He's been doing good. So yeah, I think that as gambling becomes even more hand in hand with the sport, they're going to look to make it a more consistent product. And I think that's the direction they'll take it. Yeah,
and frankly, if you are the gambling sites that are now partners of the NFL and the gambling sites, I got to believe if you listed all the advertising partners, they're way up there with money spent, and they will consistently be. Now that they've broke the glass ceiling and they can advertise and they can gamble, the gambling guys, I think, could squeeze the NFL a little bit and say, hey, man,
oh, yeah,
we can handle a lot of stuff. We know what we're doing, but Mother Nature is one thing that can really throw a monkey wrench, NFL. We need you to work with us here, NFL, because we can't handle Mother Nature is just a coin toss, and they don't like living by coin tosses in Vegas and the gambling,
no,
right?
And they don't want their, because the NFL is their highest grossing product, and they don't want their highest grossing product to also be the only one that's impacted by weather. NBA's or basketball's played inside, hockey's played inside, baseball's outside. When it rains, they just don't play. So football is really the only one that is impacted by weather. So yeah, I mean, yeah, that is the direction that it will go. Game earlier this year, Cleveland versus Pittsburgh, that's probably going to be one of the last ones that you really see get played in a heavy snowstorm. There won't be very many more like that.
You know, the NFL has been a little hypocritical too with regard to the playoffs and bad weather playoff games. And this is true across the board. The NFL historically, they have enjoyed their playoff games with that snowy condition. It makes for great theater. It looks, wow, look at all this. But never in a billion years would they ever want their Super Bowl to be played like that. They don't mind the AFC Championship games years gone past because they thought it added a little element, but now it just looks kind of silly. It really does. Now I think people really step back, and they have my opinion of those crazy weather football games. I don't think anything from an athletic standpoint is really decided on a game like that. When it's absolutely frozen, snowy, slippery ice, I don't think anything athletic is decided. I think a lot of that's just happenstance, and you slipped and I didn't, and you cut a little better than I did. I think it takes the talent out of it, and I don't think that's what they want now.
Yeah, I think most coaches they tend to say the bad weather brings the talent of the two teams closer together, which is another way of saying it takes the talent out, and it seems to basically come down to who can adjust and find the right cleats that work on that field that day is what it comes down to, instead of who can actually make the best game plan. Yeah,
I mean, there's got to be something said for. These are athletes at the tip top of their profession, tip top in the world. You work with them to get as monstrously strong and mercury quick and throw a ball on a dime far. All the skill that they work on year round and their body, and maybe some of the most meaningful games of the season. Most of that athleticism is taken out of it. It's
most meaningful games.
It's 9 degrees. It's a slushy, icy field. Snow's coming down. I think, and the argument on the other side, well, football is a tough man sport. To me, that's not tough and manly. Two guys trying to play in a blizzard.
Right. Well, I mean, there definitely is there's an element of charm to it, to playing the weather games. I mean, it's fun to see those shots, like when Jameis Winston did a front flip into the end zone earlier this year in the blizzard. That was cool. But also, back in the 80s and probably the 90s, at some point around the year 2000, the NFL shifted from being defense wins championships to you got to have an offense with a quarterback and a dude to get in there. And so in the 80s and the 70s, it probably was somewhat of an advantage for these better teams to play these games in the cold because they had the elite defense, and that was what was going to take them over the top. But now, all the best teams are the ones that have the MVP candidates at quarterback. And so you want your quarterback to be at his best, and for your quarterback to be in his best, you want to have the controlled conditions. And, I mean, the reasons are literally piling up for why, I think they're going to move away from this. And, most of the teams that are building these new super stadiums, like the one down here, I believe the one down here are they projected to have a retractable roof? I think it looks like the LA stadium. The Jacksonville.
I don't think it's a retractable. It's going to be
or is it like Miami with
a mesh? Like kind of a mesh that'll help shield the sun a little bit.
Yeah, so it feels like every new stadium. I can't remember the last brand new stadium that was just fully naked with no roof.
Yeah.
It feels like they all have something. And so that's
I want to go back to
Yeah.
what you pointed out when you said the 70s and 80s and how the game around 2000 shifted to a much more offensive. You're so right. The rules were changed to really make the pass the way to go. The rules made it to where it was easier to pass. The receivers could get off the line, and the tackles could hold a little more, and you can't hit the quarterback, so that may slow the rush down a half a step. Before all that, when you said 70s and 80s, the standard way to play football, and yes, they had forward pass. There'd be 25, 30 passes. But running the ball, controlling the clock, and throwing out a good defense was how the NFL was won. And that can be done in terrible weather a lot easier than 4 and 5 wide, throwing quick slants, throwing go routes in terrible weather.
These new offenses where the receivers go in motion 90% of the time, and then they either do the end around or fake the end around. They slip and slide all over the place. They literally can't execute the offense they draw up in it. It's too complicated.
Yeah, and it really becomes all you need is some of those games. Just add that music from Benny Hill, I guess.
Sliding everywhere.
Does the NFL want that? Some of the most historic visual games, again, the NFL used to love in that era. They loved the snowy element game in their playoffs, but they would never want their big high rollers showing up at a Super Bowl game, having to sit through that. I mean, the Leon Lett fumble in the snow, the Ice Bowl is maybe the most famous game in NFL history. The Ice Bowl. And that having John Facenda talk about the frozen tundra, that all played when it was a run clock defense oriented NFL. It's not a run the ball, work the clock, and then let your defense finish the game NFL anymore. It just and the weather plays against the type of NFL ball they want to play, like you pointed out.
Oh, yeah. It's no longer 3 yards in the cloud of dust, seal here, seal there, off to the races. None of that. I mean, it's not that anymore. I won't. The LA Chargers, it's that. They're about the only team there.
And if you think about other sports, you brought up baseball. Obviously, basketball's in a controlled indoor. So anything outdoor, you also have to wonder. And I get the argument from the tried and true football guy. Well, football's tough man wins, blah, blah, blah. We're elements to hell with it, and we're big, and I'm stronger than you, and it's cold, and I don't care. I'm not going to wear sleeves, blah, 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 blah. Well, there's got to be something to think about all your other sports. If it's raining or snowing too much, baseball doesn't play.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got the Bob Hayes Invitational track and field event here on Saturday and it's pouring down rain, it gets canceled. Or let me take another step. Or if it's too windy at the Olympic Games and they run the 100-yard dash and the wind at the back is too much, that doesn't get certified as a world record. The wind was if the Players Championship, if there's a monsoon Thursday of the first round, they don't play. So all your other sports are weather commonsensical, but the NFL. To me, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
to me,
I never knew that about the world record at the Olympics. That makes sense though, because you
can't. Wind day. Many times,
but what's the cutoff though? Is 4 miles an hour? Good?
They literally have.
There literally is a scientific. I'm sure. Yeah,
there is on running events. There's literally they have a wind gauge, and if it's a tailwind, a backwind, you can run, and you may run, break the record for the 100-meter run, but that did not qualify as a world record because the wind. It was wind aided, is what the phrase is. Wind aided.
Right, wind AM, a wind aided.
Yeah,
record.
Which is fair because if I happen to run and there's a freak day where there's a 25-mile-an-hour wind at my back, that's got to help. I mean, it helps hitting a baseball out of the ballpark, right?
Oh yeah, the Colorado with the thin air.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we went a little over into the second hour. Let's take a break. Come back. We got a bunch of topics. Let's get to some fun stuff too in the second hour, make it a little fun as we are getting closer to kickoff. Notre Dame, Penn State, cannot wait. Man, I'm leaving here, taking some food with me, getting warm at the house, and watching a good Final Four college football game tonight. Tomorrow, Ohio State, Texas, and then the NFL boys take it on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. A lot of football to talk about. We do it on the other side. Terry Norvelle and you, the Young and Norvelle Show, coming to you for our Thursday home, Sliders Oyster Bar.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com. And while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
All right, let me tell you something, Zach Rothrock. I got a little information for you. I'm finding out, sitting here at Sliders Oyster Bar on a Thursday, on the patio, I'm finding out that seafood lovers are a little tougher than Mother Nature. Let me tell you, Zach. And the reason I say that, I'm sitting here, I'm on the patio. It's climate controlled, got heaters everywhere in the ceilings. I'm outside. I can look into the bar here at Sliders, the drink bar, and there's only like maybe 2 seats left. Okay, the bar's filled up. Half of the dining area inside is filled up, and it's only, gosh darn, 5:10. Johnny Pop wanted to get on the air. We wanted to get Johnny Pop, the world famous oyster shucker here. I wanted to get him on the air and kick around some stuff, including Carson Beck, maybe going to the University of Miami now. He's busy shucking some oysters. And I'm on the patio. I'm looking at one big group of 6 that is already sat down here on the patio. And my man here, the Sliders server, has slid a bunch of tables together, putting out about 9 to 10 menus because obviously a large party is showing up. Seafood eaters, a little tougher than Mother Nature. It's a little chilly, but comfortable. And if you got the craving for some seafood, get down to Sliders Oyster. Oh, they're walking some stuff right in front of me. And there it goes to that table. Not to mine. Hi, everybody. Glad you're with us here on a Thursday. Tomorrow, we're back at the other end of the beach. We'll be in Jacksonville Beach at Bricks. Come by and say hi, 4 to 6. And that'll lead us. Gosh darn, I'll probably stay down there and kind of do what I'm going to eat some dinner here. I'm probably going to take dinner out. I got to get home and feed my dog. I didn't plan this real well to stay out tonight, but I'm probably going to take some food here from Sliders home, get settled, get warm, and watch ball tonight. And then, you know what I may do tomorrow? We got ball again tomorrow night. Good ball, semifinal ball. Probably wrap up the show at 6, put the show away, get settled, and grab one of those $12.99 ribeye steak specials at Bricks, 2 sides, and watch probably at least the first half down at Bricks, Ohio State, and Texas. So there you have it. A couple things I want to get to before we have some fun here. I want to lighten up we were talking bad weather and fires. Let's lighten it up a little bit in a moment. But interesting today, news out of the LA Raiders camp. You know, they fired Antonio Pierce after 1 year. They fired their head coach. Well, a couple of days after that, it's been announced today, the Raiders, a couple of days removed, they didn't do it the same day, or they didn't make it public. The Raiders have announced they fired their general manager as well. So they went coach first. Normally, if you're going to get rid of both of them, you would just do it all at one fell swoop, right? One fell swoop, and you'd knock them out. Interesting. You've heard a little bit of whispering that might something like that be going on with the Jaguars and Trent Baalke. Yeah, I don't know if it would be a true firing, or you've heard a little bit that Baalke may stay in his position through a coach being named and then may take another position. You wonder, but it's interesting to point out that, yes, though odd, the second move of the head coach general manager moves doesn't always have to be the same day. Interesting. The Raiders make a move a few days after letting their head coach go. They go ahead and announce that their general manager as well. Clean sweep. So there you have it. Switching this topic to the Detroit Lions, they're kind of lovable. Now, in the NFC, they're probably the team I'm pulling for. My Super Bowl pick before the season was the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm going to stick by that. I think they're going to win the Super Bowl. In the NFC, and let me let you know that I don't really have a dog in the fight. I don't have an NFL favorite team. I don't have a dog in the fight, but there's a lot to like about Detroit the last year or two. First of all, if you like the lovable losers, they've been the lovable losers for a very, very long time, have the Lions. They've gotten good. They were really good last year. They probably should have gotten even further than they did in the playoffs last year. There's a lot to like about Detroit, the current Detroit Lion organization. Mid-season, though, it looked like it was just going to be one of those, it's not your year, Detroit. They got ravished by injuries. Their running back Montgomery went down. Obviously, Aiden Hutchinson went down. Well, don't look now, but some things are starting to break for the Lions as the season got to the end and we get into the playoffs. Number one, they went out and beat Minnesota and had the huge win. They win the division. They're in a good spot. They're in a good spot. Now, they've still got to deal with the injuries. It looks like the running back Montgomery will be back. So they'll have their two-headed running back situation tandem, Montgomery and Gibbs. That's good news. I've always liked Montgomery, tough little runner. Aiden Hutchinson supposedly is really getting around well. He's working out. He fractured his fibia and tibia, but he thinks he's going to be ready if the Lions can make it to the Super Bowl. Hutchinson thinks he's playing. He's told his buddies in the locker room, get us there and I will play. It will be right at 4 months from the injury. He will have had 4 months to have healed and rehabbed that injury. Aiden Hutchinson, if the Lions were to make it, and the odds of the Lions making it to the Super Bowl went up drastically after Sunday. You go out and win a division and get some time off versus traveling as a road playoff team. And that's how big that win was. That is how big that win. That really changes the dynamic for the Lions. I mean, they've got a lot of stuff going their way now. So, and they're easy to root for. The Lions, before this little run, last couple of years, the Lions had that Chicago Cubs kind of lovable loser thing. I mean, they were bad. They flared once or twice with Barry Sanders. They had a playoff season once or twice, but even the great Barry Sanders, man, he withered away with Detroit. They just never could get good players around him. They're likable and good for the Lions. Kind of pulling for them. They're kind of my NFC team. I'm going to it wouldn't hurt my feelings. All right, Zach, let's see if we could. I want to throw this up. Let me give some backstory real quick. Tiger Woods, he's coming out with a new brand, and it's kind of based off of what he used to do. There you go. He's coming out with Sunday Red, and that's kind of a new clothing brand that Tiger and his people, they've come out with, and that's kind of a play off of, on Sunday when he was playing competitive golf. On Sunday, Tiger always wore red on Sunday, and it was kind of the blood in the water kind of theme. Okay, it's Sunday. It's time to go win the tournament. He would always wear red. So he has come out with a clothing line, Sunday Red, kind of a play on that, okay? And you see the top there on the graphic. That's the logo that Tiger's people have come up with. A side profile of a tiger in full leaping mode. Well, of course, Puma, the shoemaker, Puma, they've been around forever. They've had their logo, and you see at the bottom, that's a Puma that looks a lot like a tiger in full leaping. That's Puma's longtime logo, that side silhouette of the Puma. Puma's suing the hell out of Tiger's company saying trademark infringement. And Zach, I want to get your thoughts. You're looking at it. You pulled that graphic up for us, that logo up for us. I kind of lean with Puma on this a little bit. I think that's too close. Tigers.
I think that there is no way Puma wins this lawsuit, and if they do, Tiger needs to get better lawyers. Yeah, it's not. Okay. It's not. I just don't think it's close enough. It's really not. It's a tiger. I mean, I think you can get away. There's certain ways that you can go away around. I mean, it's not the exact. It's just, I don't know. It's different. It is a feline and it is over font, but that is about where the comparisons end.
Yeah, I mean, it's a feline. It's a cat. It's a side. Yeah. It's a side profile view.
It is a tiger.
It doesn't have. Yeah. If right? if you change the colors and flip them, you wouldn't know which one was the Puma and which one was the tiger. Okay.
Well, the tiger. The tiger's one looks like a skeleton. I just realized those are stripes. I thought that was bones. Those are the stripes of the tiger. Now I see. I was seeing that as a skeleton.
I guess they're the stripes, but still.
Yeah.
A feline, a side profile right view. Neither one of them, and you could call these caricatures a little bit, right? Cartoon drawings, caricatures. Neither one of them has clothing on. Not that they, a lot of times, Albert the alligator has a sweater on with an F, neither has clothing on. They're both in leaping position. I think that's awful close.
I think the fact they're both naked is that's a win for the tiger side, because that's the way these felines have found their natural habitat. If the puma logo was already wearing shorts and then the tiger logo was also wearing shorts, I would be like, okay, that's a little close. But since they appear as they both do in the animal kingdom, I think this is fair use. Tiger side wins. There's no shot puma wins us.
Now I will throw this out: if you're puma.
Mm-hmm.
You may just be playing the system.
Is publicity? That's a good angle. That's how they can win.
Hey, Puma may have the exact same description inside Puma headquarters as you just said. Hey, man, listen, look at this tiger thing. I don't think it's really infringing on us, but dude, if we do a press release on this, we're going to get billions of dollars of free publicity.
Now that would be a brilliant move. That's a good idea.
That's probably what they're doing it for.
You probably get sympathy with the public. Yeah. Now that's 5D chess. I like that idea.
You like that?
I do.
All right. How about Tiger? I do like Sunday Red, the way he did that. You know, he was so famous for wearing Sunday Red, blood in the water.
I like the name. I do think it's weird how the words are spaced out. The Sunday Red. I don't know. That doesn't tickle my eye. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a weird
I haven't
thing.
warmed up to that. I haven't warmed up, and I don't know the explanation why they've done that. Because I don't know if there is a reasoning, but hopefully the new Tiger clothing company, Sunday Red, hopefully it makes it, because I know Tiger's probably needing a few more dollars, right?
Yeah, I'm sure he's just barely scraping it by, man. He needs us.
He could use. Hey, did you see where? And this is a good news story. And then we're going to get to a couple funny ones in a minute. Did you see the news? And I don't know what. I think Tiger and his son went to some events, and the son's mom, Ellen, is it Ellen Nordgren? Wasn't that his wife that he divorced, or she divorced him? Tiger's original wife.
I do not remember her name. I can figure that out.
But Ellen is her name. I'm almost positive. Ellen. But anyway, the word is
yes, Elon.
And this is good news. Seriously, they're not back together as a couple. But the word is they have patched up. It got ugly because Tiger, he admittedly cheated on her a bunch, and remember she hit him with a golf club. And
chasing him down the road with the 9-iron or whatever it was.
But the word is they have gone way past that. They've got a good, solid co-parenting relationship. I was just happy. One of those good stories.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I would imagine that enough time has passed at this point. That was I was thinking that was like in 2008. So yeah, I would imagine enough time. And you gotta, when you're the parents, you gotta put the kid first, or you at least should. I guess not all people do at all times, but as a good parent, you should put the kid first. So yeah, it's good they were able to do that.
But that was now I'm not abdicating violence at all. Violence is not cool, and violence on another person is not cool. But you gotta give Ellen high marks when that bad scene went down. If she had to hit Tiger with any object, she could have hit him with a rolling pin, a hanger.
It was very symbolic.
A fly swatter, a broom, but she went golf club on Tiger.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to imagine that was probably the easiest accessible weapon of choice. There has to be a plethora of golf clubs around their house, their garage area, and so yeah, I mean, you just grab it. It does the job.
You would think, but you gotta like that though. You shouldn't hit anybody with anything. Let's get that out. But if you've got to hit Tiger with something, why not a golf club?
Yeah, right? I'm not really sure exactly what poetic justice is by definition, but that feels like it's probably poetic justice to be the golf club there. Yeah,
I agree. Hey, let's take a break. Let's come back and keep it light. Let's lighten it up a little bit, and then we'll start getting back into Notre Dame, Penn State. The Indy Speedway, we'll do this on the other side. The Indianapolis Speedway has come up with a neat idea around the tough weather they're experiencing, and you got to see Golf Cart Lady. It's made it viral. If you haven't seen it, we will show it to you on the other side. Lightening things up here on a cold Thursday live from Sliders Oyster Bar.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I feel like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Hey man, this place has filled up the patio and inside dining area at Sliders Oyster Bar. A little bit of cold weather is not slowing people down. As you can hear, I'm on the patio here at Sliders, where I'm always at on Thursdays, our Thursday home. And we got ourselves a dadgum. No, one party over there is having a big time over there. Having a good time, Zachary, and this other party. And there's only two openings at the bar inside. A lot of fun going on here at Sliders Oyster Bar. Dine in the inside restaurant seating area, or enjoy the outdoor patio with the climate controlled heaters everywhere. And you can hear, I'm outside on the patio. The portable walls, the portable plastic clear walls have been dropped down, and they can really control the temperature. And it is very, very comfortable, and people are enjoying the atmosphere, the crispness of the atmosphere, and the great seafood here at Sliders Oyster Bar. We'll get to some fun stuff in a moment. Zachary, I wanted to get back real quick. I teased it and didn't get to it a moment ago. The traditional SEC football fan, and I'm going to put you in that. I'm going to put myself in that. The traditional SEC fan.
Have we been in the SEC? What's the threshold? Have the Gamecocks been in long enough? We just got added in the early 90s. Okay.
Yes. 92, Arkansas, South Carolina. The first expansion of the SEC for years happened in 92. Arkansas, South Carolina. And there was a little bit of it didn't feel right. It felt, and then boom, they are members of the SEC.
Right.
In good standing. Right. The second, the next one, what did we have? We had Missouri and Texas A&M, right? Was the next one.
Yeah. To me, they still feel new.
And that was 2012.
Yeah.
I think it was, right? 2011, 2012, Johnny Manziel first, blah, blah, blah. I feel like they are in now. And kind of recently, and Missouri to me was the one that I had to keep going, oh yeah, Missouri. Oh, yeah, Missouri is one of the SEC teams. Well, we're going through that a little bit right now, and there's a little bit of that pride thing. Hey, wait a minute. Texas, Oklahoma, you haven't been SEC members. Now you are. So I think the traditional SEC fan, it's going to take several years for it to feel right, and that's just natural. Now, with that said, I think if Texas was to go on and win the national title this year, I think the traditional SEC fan would not. Texas fan is going to go, wow, look how tough the SEC is. We came in and won a national title year one.
Well, they didn't win the conference.
I think that's going to ruffle some traditional SEC fans, even though SEC fan gets to say to Big Ten fan, hey, we won another one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all on the table. But what you just said is the comeback for the SEC fan.
Yeah, for sure.
To keep pride. If Texas wins it, and I don't blame Texas fan, they can go, hey, man, y'all said we ain't going to be able to compete. Hell, we won a national title, right?
Yeah, they will.
SEC fans' comeback's going to go, hey, and here's SEC's comeback to the rest of the country, too. Texas won the national title, but they couldn't win the SEC.
Yeah,
they lost 2 games. So that way Texas fan base and traditional SEC fan base can both win, right? That's how you play that, right?
Yeah, that would be the logic. That would.
That's how you play that.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of think that the SEC's reign of domination is, I think it's kind of coming to an end with the NIL and the transfer portal. I think everything's just getting leveled off. I think so. I think. I mean, no one's gonna win. What was it? 8 titles in 15 years, like Alabama did. I just don't see a run like that happening.
And what was that? The SEC went like 7 years in a row winning it.
Yeah, between Alabama and LSU. Maybe there was
LSU and Georgia. And,
yeah.
And I think even Florida, the 08 Florida.
They were on the front end of that. Yeah, I can see the
9 was Alabama, 10 was maybe Alabama. LSU was in there, and Alabama again, and LSU, and then Alabama a couple more, and then Georgia. It was like 8 in a row.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that's over. I think the SEC thumping their chest and I'm better than you against everybody all the time. I think that definitely was the case for a long time, but I think that era is coming to an end.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I'm also going to put some words in your mouth right now, and they're the same words I would say. I do agree with you that reign of dominance is over, and the words I'm going to put in your mouth, I would agree. I would think you agree with what I'm about to say. I loved it. I think you loved it when the SEC was the dominant. You're an SEC guy. You loved it, right? You loved that reign of dominance.
I would have loved to, I would have liked it more if, my team could be the one that was actually winning at some point.
But you loved it. You have to admit.
Yeah, it's good to be able to say, we are in the premier conference. It's almost like we're the English Premier League in soccer, but with football. That's kind of what it felt like.
Where I'm going with it, I think you're right. I don't think we're going to see that type of dominance from the SEC or anybody moving forward with the new guardrails in place. I also agree with you, and I loved that run. You loved that run. But I will say this. As a fan of college football, for the whole, not for just the SEC, but for the whole game of college football, it's better that there's not the dominant run.
Oh yeah, 100%. This has been the
for the
best.
whole, it's better.
Yeah, this has been the best and most exciting college football season I can remember, and it's because of that aspect of it, because of the parity and the leveling of the talent, and there being more upsets.
I mean, frankly, the NFL's had periods where one of the conferences has been the dominant Super Bowl winner, and that's not good for the NFL. Even if you love the AFC. Even if you love the NFC when it was going good.
Yeah, the 80s and 90s were largely just NFC winning it over and over and over. And then the 2000s was the opposite. It was the AFC winning it just constantly.
Yeah. And you know, when it, like you said, when it was the 49ers, the Cowboys, the Giants,
they all just beat the
dominating.
Bills.
Yeah, dominating. And then, as you said, an era gone, more recent era, you know, the Kansas Cities were and the New Englands were dominating.
Mm-hmm.
Either one of those eras weren't great for the overall NFL.
No, it's better when each side has when you don't know what's going to happen, when there's parity. That's always better.
All right, Zach, if you can, let's dial up. I want you guys to see this video. The folks at the Indianapolis Speedway, they obviously are having terrible winter weather and they're snowed in. They thought of a pretty unique thing to do with their speedway and tying it around the weather. Zach, can we play that? Look what they're doing. They're giving a snow ride to a skier. I think that's one of the big guys at the speedway. But Zach, how cool is that? And don't you think if they open that up to the public, they could make a gob of money? Wouldn't people pay a lot of money to take a skiing trip around the 2.5-mile Indianapolis Motor Speedway?
Yeah, I mean, I would. So this activity they're doing, it actually reminds me of a phenomenon that my friends and I used to do in not the Low Country, but in South Carolina, where I grew up. We called it redneck skimboarding. We would do this in the grass in the field. So I mean, you see how these guys here, they have it's tied with a rope to some sort of vehicle. We would take a skimboard like you take to the beach, and we would stand on it and hold on to a rope and get pulled through a truck at like 30 miles an hour through the field.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't see how no one ever broke their neck, but it was the best time. So yes, to short answer your question or long answer your question, yes, I would pay up to $50 to do that.
I bet you they could get a couple hundred. I bet you they would have a mile-long line if they announce, hey, we're giving snowboard laps around the frozen, snowy Indianapolis 500 Speedway. I bet you they could. I bet you they could charge a couple $100.
Whatever it costs to get into Disney World, I think it should be about the same price.
I'm telling you, that's a one in a lifetime. People would line up for days, I think, to do that. All right, Zach. Our last video. Hold it until I call for it. But this has kind of gone viral. I don't know if you saw it before I sent it over to you. Did you see this before I sent it to you?
I had not.
This has gone viral. And I guess I'm going to HE double hockey sticks, but I cannot stop laughing. Hey, golf carts, there's a skill to driving a golf cart, okay? You still have to have some coordination. And
I think the biggest skill is paying attention to what is happening. And I think that's what the skill is.
Watch this lady.
Yeah. Not looking.
Now, that's bad. That's bad enough, but it gets worse. How can it get worse? Terry, it can't. She just ran into a non-moving house. Well, she's going to fix it. Whoa, the thing's going back. Whoa.
No, I'm fine.
Oh, and if you guys could hear.
It's the holiday season.
And the audio, she's at her friend's house. So she runs into her friend. So her friend comes out saying, what the hell was that noise? I ran into your house.
Now, do you think that lady, do you think that she is sober when this is happening?
Oh, yeah, sure she is. There's one. Okay. And this isn't a replay. We didn't re-rack the tape here, did we, Zach?
No, yeah, she hit it 4 times.
And it's rolling back. So she goes, let me go stop it. I got to stop this thing. Hold on. Let me just hit the brake. No.
I mean, yeah, she goes right back. She goes right back to immediately staring at the phone, not looking where she's going. Immediately, it just happened. The stove is still hot. You don't got to touch it a second time. It just burned you.
The stove is still hot. Oh, Oh, Zach, I can't stop laughing at that. That was so good.
Yeah. The going back for a second. I mean, yeah, just the lack of awareness to still be, keeping your nose buried in your phone, even though you just slammed into the house at maximum speed of full. I was 15 miles an hour on the golf cart. They don't go much faster than that.
Oh my God, Zach, she did it the second time. Oh, I'm going to hell. I know I'm going to hell. I'm already going to hell.
Not for laughing at this video, but yeah, probably.
Oh, it doesn't matter. Zach, you're right though. Wouldn't you just? Okay, let me just I got to stop this thing. It's rolling backwards. Okay. No, she has to. She gets look.
Well, she had to finish. She had to finish reading the text or watching the video. I bet she was watching a video of someone falling down or making an ass of themselves on her phone. So she had to continue watching that.
Hey, the only acceptable reason she should go back to that phone is if she was watching a how to drive a golf cart video. Right?
Potentially could have been. That probably exists on YouTube.
Oh,
yeah, potentially could have been.
Zach, I thought that was so freaking funny. Hey, in this day and age, though, that lady will get the last laugh. She'll figure out a way to make a ton of money out of that somehow.
Yeah. She'll get a huge following, and she'll get her own podcast, and then she'll promote a cryptocurrency that she'll pull the rug out from underneath her followers, and she will screw them and then go to prison. That is the circle of life now.
Or she will call. She'll call Better Call Saul, that attorney, right?
Oh yeah.
She'll call him, and he'll find out that there was a malfunction on the brake. It was a brake problem.
Yeah, a very unfortunate accident. Yeah.
No, it was her problem, wasn't it?
Right. Yeah. In this case,
the judge says, okay, I've heard and seen all the evidence. I don't think it was a brake problem. I think it was a her problem. Case dismissed. Right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Case dismissed. Get out of here. All right, Zach, let's take our final break, and we're going to get out of here. Been a fun one, been a light one, been a fun one, and we'll kind of reset everything that we've talked about, including some breaking news earlier today involving former Georgia Bulldog quarterback Carson Beck. That as we come back and wrap it up. It's a Thursday. Been a fun Thursday from Sliders Oyster Bar.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Rick's Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Rick's Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Rick's Jack's Beach.
For over 20 years, Southeast Orthopedic Specialists has been providing the highest level of orthopedic and spine care to patients throughout Northeast Florida. Now, we're making that same great care even more convenient with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Direct, a walk-in clinic where you can be seen for pain or injuries with no appointment needed. Staffed by orthopedic physicians and specialists, we offer everything from diagnosis and treatment to imaging and bracing, all with no appointment needed. For more information, hours, and locations, visit our website.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dynamic Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
Hey everyone, everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jacks to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jacks in your app store either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jacks 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms. Whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV, you can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jacks 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
Summertime means sizzling sales at Nimnick Buick GMC. The #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville has lots of inventory to choose from with their best price guarantee. Nimnick never charges above MSRP. You can save up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierras or get rates as low as 1.9%.
You know, I'm a truck guy. GMC Sierra, my trim level is an SLT. This one's an Elevation. Pretty good looking color as well. So here at Nimnick Buick GMC, you have a lot to pick from. My father-in-law, he drives this, an Enclave, so I like that GMC in the family. 2025 is coming around the corner, which means it's almost time to close out those 2024s this summer.
You can schedule a test drive at NimnickBuickGMC.com, and while you're there, check your trade value and customize your payment options. Nimnick is there for you, even on Sundays. Visit the showroom on Phillips Highway or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
All right, we're starting to put the landing gear down here on a Thursday edition from Sliders Oyster Bar. We're here every single Thursday. We'll be down at the other end of the beach in Jacksonville Beach at Bricks tomorrow. Hope you can come down there and say hi, watch some ball. I'm Terry Norvelle, Zach Rothrock, hanging out here on a Thursday. Want to recap some stuff that we've talked about, but I wanted to make sure we get in this Deion Sanders, a little bit of a story here. Deion being interviewed for a story that ran in USA Today about some different topics, football topics, obviously. And one of the topics was about Deion, would he ever coach in the NFL? And it's interesting, a little bit of crack here in the armor. Deion's pretty much kind of not been very committal at all about the NFL. But actually the headline, Deion Sanders names one condition for his interest in NFL coaching jobs. Okay, interesting headline. And as the story goes, in an interview that aired Wednesday on ABC, the Colorado head coach added a new condition to his interest in an NFL coaching job. And this is Sanders, quote, "You know what?" Sanders said on the show, Good Morning America 3, I guess is the name of the show. "What you need to know, the only way I would consider is to coach my sons." And there's sons with an S. There's always been that speculation, and I've always thought that that's going to be his next step. I don't see him at Colorado a long time. Could Deion manipulate a head coaching job and the first draft pick getting his quarterback son, obviously, and then he mentioned sons, his defensive back son. I don't know if Shiloh is a high-rated prospect, but with regard to teams that have very high draft choices, like the Titans, the Patriots, who are looking for a coach, the Raiders, teams that have very high draft choices and especially have a coaching vacancy, stranger things could happen. There are ways to manipulate that. I'm telling you. Deion says, hey, work a deal, get the one pick. Hey, New England, work a deal, get the one pick. You need a coach. I'll sign. You're going to draft my son, Shador. And obviously they would have to take a flyer and say, hey, we'll try and get Shiloh. Would an organization do that? Would an owner acquiesce to that? But, Zach, that is an interesting theory. And I kind of have been throwing that out for a long time.
Yeah, I mean,
stranger things could happen than that.
Yeah, I've been trying to look at the Shiloh Sanders draft profile. I see people are saying that he's not an NFL talent. He may be drafted in the 7th round at best. I don't necessarily know that's the best way to get your coaching.
I got one thing. Let me cut you off. Zach. I got one thing to say, and then you pick it back up. Bronny James.
Yeah, I mean,
James.
I mean, it can happen, but that doesn't mean that it should happen.
That's the Shiloh.
Betterment of the organization. I mean, yeah, that is literally what it would be. It'd be that exact same thing. I mean, I wouldn't want to sign up for that. Mark Davis might, though. So I mean, it could definitely happen.
You think he'd do something crazy? You think that weirdo would do something crazy? Mark Davis?
Yeah, I mean, that's who it will be. If it's anyone, it's going to be that guy for sure.
But for that, what I just described, for that to happen, it's got to be this year. It's got to be this year, probably, because it's got to be this year, and it's got to be an organization that has a very high pick, that has a head coaching opening, right? And that screams New England, and that screams the Raiders. The
Raiders haven't fired Antonio Pierce. The Raiders haven't fired Antonio Pierce yet, but it feels like the story I keep hearing is they want to make sure they've got their guy before they get Antonio Pierce. So that kind of could tie into this Deion. They might be trying to talk with Deion Sanders before. I don't know.
I had a little trouble with your audio there.
I'm sorry, they did fire Antonio Pierce. My bad. Antonio Pierce is out officially already at Vegas, so they don't have to do that.
Again, I had a little trouble with your audio though, but to recap, a team such as New England with a very high pick and a head coaching vacancy, and a team like the Raiders, same thing, high pick, coaching vacancy. If they were to go to the Titans, you can call the Titans too. You don't have to just wait on the Titans to call you to make a team deal. You can call the Titans and say, hey man, we want that number one pick, right? We're going to throw you the moon, because they know that Deion will be their coach. And if they get the one, they can take Sanders.
Yeah. I think the general consensus with the Patriots is they want to maintain the Drake May. They like what they saw with him, so they want to keep him moving forward. So I don't really necessarily see them doing it. But I think the Giants and the Raiders are your two. If you say Coach Prime is going, I think or it could be the Titans as well.
But the Giants didn't fire their coach, is what I'm saying. Daboll is still there.
They don't have the opening. Yeah, so Tennessee and the Raiders.
You got to have an opening.
I think Tennessee and the Raiders are about the only two. Yeah.
So it would be the Raiders or the Patriots. Did you hear also that another thing I kicked around a couple weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty apparent now that it's true. Tom Brady did talk to Belichick about the Raiders job, and some pretty reputable people have said that Belichick, he might be still interested in the NFL. I know he's taking the job, but stranger things would have happened than him going back to the NFL and saying, thanks, North Carolina, but I just couldn't turn this opportunity down.
Yeah, this Belichick thing kind of reminds me of, like when a guy is single, they seem to not be able to get a date ever. But then, like, as soon as they get into a relationship, suddenly all the women are after him and chasing after him. It feels like no one wanted Bill Belichick last year as an NFL coach at all. And now, as soon as he gets his North Carolina job, but it's like he's connected to every job, and everyone's saying that everyone always wanted him, and it's so interesting. I feel like he's going to stay. I think he made a Twitter page. I think he's embracing the college recruiting trail, and I think he's happy with UNC for now.
Maybe. And you could also wonder if all this if there is newfound interest in Belichick, it may have been precipitated by, once the franchises saw that he's getting back into coaching, he does want to coach.
Potentially,
he may have started it himself, just getting back into coaching. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a fun off season. Always is around the NFL. It just never goes away. There's always, I'll tell you, Deion coming back, doing something like we just described, that would be the offseason story of the year in the NFL. Woo!
Oh, yeah, that would be every show's A block. That would be what First Take leads with every day. Yeah, for sure.
It definitely would. Well, Zachary, good job. Had a lot of fun. We lightened it up, which I like to do. It's only sports. Always remember, folks, it's only sports. That'll do it here on Thursday for us. Hope you enjoy the game tonight. I'm leaning toward Penn State at some point. At some point, James Franklin's got to win a really big game. And I know you may say, well, he's won in the college football playoff. Well, he's been gifted in the college football playoff. This would be a big, big game for James Franklin. At some point, he breaks through. I don't trust his coaching staff. I think Penn State, their coaching staff on offense has a tendency to make games harder on themselves with some questionable strategy. But at some point, Penn State, I think, and James Franklin will win a big one before he's done at Penn State. And I think this might be the big one. I think it's going to be a just sledgehammer ball game. Should be a lot of fun. We'll break it all down tomorrow as we go live from Bricks at 4 o'clock tomorrow for our Friday edition. We'll break down the big game tonight, and then we'll preview tomorrow Ohio State and Texas. Boy, cannot wait for that. That'll do it for everybody that made it happen. Zach Rothrock, and, of course, you. I'm Terry Norvelle. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Get some food, get warm, get in front of a TV, and enjoy college football tonight. We'll talk to you tomorrow at 4 o'clock, the Young and Norvelle Show live from Bricks.
At Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, we know pain and injuries can stop you from doing what you love. This is why our board-certified orthopedic specialists offer the latest in both non-surgical and surgical treatment options and create a treatment plan tailored to your unique lifestyle and goals. So, whether it is a sports injury or that nagging pain that's keeping you from doing what you love, our team has the right treatment for you. For more information or to schedule an appointment online, visit our website.
Finally, a family atmosphere, kid-friendly restaurant with a real sports bar feel. Bricks Jack's Beach features all of that and a large, climate-controlled covered patio with misting fans and heaters for all seasons. Mix in an extremely diverse menu that features the most quality and affordable steak at the beach, and there's no reason not to enjoy your next lunch, dinner, happy hour, or big sporting event at Bricks Jack's Beach, 300 2nd Street North in Jacksonville Beach. See you at Bricks Jack's Beach.
You really got to hand it to him. Hold on.
The previous play is under further review.
I'm not sure what he could review, but okay. Sure has been a while. Dine in at Hurricane Grill and Wings for the football season. Well, there he is. Oh, what is that?
The Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network is streaming. I'm Stuart Weber, and I'm here to teach you a nice three-step process on how you can watch all your favorite programming from the Brent and Austin Show every weekday 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. or the Cup Date with me. It's fantastic. We talk NASCAR. It's a great time. Wednesdays at 1 o'clock. All right, first step, easy. Download the Action News Jacks app. You probably already have it downloaded on your phone, so you might already have that one taken care of. Step 2, see that stack of pancakes up there? You click that stack of pancakes, and it's going to bring down step number 3, which is a full screen of all the different streams that you can click on, including the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 stream. You click that, the video's rocking and rolling on your mobile device. You're watching all the shows you want to, and you're having a good time. You can also do it on your smart TV with the Action News Jacks Now app. I do it on my Samsung TV at home. It's a great way to watch it on a nice, large screen for all the content. That's the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. Hope you can find it.
You trust CGC to make your water great, and now you can trust CGC with your plumbing needs as well. Fast, convenient scheduling, licensed and insured. A quick call away at 904-552-1242.
You never know when you're going to have an issue with a shower, toilet, or maybe it's a sink that sometimes is easy to fix. All right, let's be honest. I'm not fixing anything. I'm totally staging this because when I have a plumbing problem, I call CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing.
Trained professionals, transparent pricing, customer satisfaction. Small problem or even a bigger issue. Maybe you need a new tankless water heater or something a bit more intricate. The experts with 25 years of experience at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing can do it all. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242 or cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license